Scientists have discovered a way to improve the taste of coffee. Coffee lovers have long argued about how to prepare the perfect cup of their favorite drink. Scientists from the University of Oregon recently added their 2 cents on this subject. According to them, a little water added to coffee beans before the grinding process will bring out a more intense flavor. The cracking and friction of coffee beans during grinding generates some static electricity. This causes the ground coffee particles to stick together into larger lumps and stick to the grinder. But coffee beans with higher humidity produce less static electricity, which, as scientists point out, allows them to extract a more intense aroma. The description and results of the research were published in the magazine, Matter. The trick is to reduce the amount of static electricity created when grinding coffee beans, which otherwise causes them to stick together and clog the grinder. This treatment, according to researchers, allows to extract a more intense flavor from coffee beans. Moisture. Whether it's residual moisture inside the coffee beans or external moisture added before grinding, determines the amount of charge created during the process, says Christopher Hendon, a chemist at the University of Oregon. Water not only reduces static electricity and therefore reduces grinding mess, but it can also have a major impact on the intensity of the drink and potentially the ability to access higher concentrations of beneficial flavors, he adds. Hendon has been researching coffee for years. In his earlier works, he indicated that freezing coffee beans improves the taste of the drink prepared from them. Interestingly, in new research he joined forces with a volcanologist from the University of Oregon, Joshua Mendez Harper, now at Portland State University. Together, the researchers investigated which types of coffee tend to stick together when grinding, why this happens and how it affects the end result of the entire process, i.e. coffee. The researchers looked at several store-bought coffee brands. They also tested the beans they roasted themselves in the laboratory. These beans came from different plantations and had different roasting times, which affected how much moisture they contained. They measured static electricity in each serving of ground beans. They also tested the size of freshly ground coffee particles and, of course, the taste of the brew. Grinding coffee beans into tiny particles creates a lot of friction as the beans rub against each other and break. This generates static electricity. As Harper noted, a similar thing happens in volcanic ash clouds, when particles of matter thrown out from the Earth's interior rub against each other, creating an atmospheric discharge, i.e. lightning. During an eruption, magma breaks up into many small pieces, which then escape from the volcano in the form of a large plume. During the entire process, these particles rub against each other, creating a charge and, as a result, lightning. In simple terms, it's like grinding coffee, where you take the beans and grind them into a fine powder, Harper explains. Scientists found no link between static electricity and the coffee's country of origin or processing method. They linked it to moisture and the size of ground coffee particles. Less electrostatic charge was created when the coffee had a higher moisture content and when it was ground into coarser pieces. Scientists have shown that most of the static electricity in ground coffee comes from the cracking of the beans during grinding, and to a lesser extent from friction between them. As for the types of beans that tend to clump together during grinding, the drier and darker beans used in the experiments produced more static electricity than the lighter beans. Scientists suspect that this may be due to the fact that darker beans, i.e. roasted longer, are more brittle and have the least moisture. Scientists also showed that adding a little water to coffee beans before grinding resulted in longer coffee extraction times and a stronger brew. Although more experiments are needed to test different types of grinders and brewing methods, researchers concluded that adding moisture to coffee beans solves the problems of grinding clumping and poor extraction, while helping to produce a tastier drink. Hendon recommends adding approximately 20 microliters, 1 liter equals 1 million microliters, of water per gram of coffee to improve the consistency and flavor of the coffee. But coffee research also has a lot to contribute to earth sciences. There is a lot of information about how coffee breaks and how it interacts with water. This research could help solve parallel problems in geophysics, whether it's landslides, volcanic eruptions or water infiltration through soil, emphasizes Harper. The researchers also say their coffee extraction findings could have huge economic implications for the $343.2 billion coffee industry, increasing the concentration by 10 to 15%. For the same coffee, dry matter has huge implications for saving money and improving quality, says Hendon. Nearly 40% heat deaths are the result of global warming. More than one-third of all deaths due to heat waves in the last 3 decades are the result of global warming, scientists indicate. Scientists from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, LSHTM, and the University of Bern used data from 732 locations in 43 countries around the world in their analyses. Their research shows the real contribution of climate change in increasing the risk of mortality due to increasingly higher temperatures. More than a third of all heat-related deaths between 1991 and 2018 can be attributed to human-caused global warming, according to a new paper in the journal Nature Climate Change. Estimates show that 37% of all heat-related deaths in recent summers can be attributed to the warming of the planet due to human activity. The most affected regions are Central and South America. For example, up to 76% in Ecuador or Colombia, and Southeast Asia, 48% to 61%. The estimates also show the number of deaths due to climate change in specific cities. 136 additional deaths per year were recorded in Santiago de Chile. That's 44.3% of all heat-related deaths in the city, 189 in Athens, 26.1%, 172 in Rome, 32%, 156 in Tokyo, 35.6%, 177 in Madrid, 31.9%, 146 in Bangkok, 53.4%, 82 in London, 33.6%, 141 in New York, 44.2%, and 137 in Ho Chi Minh City, 48.5%. The authors say their findings are further evidence of the need to take decisive action to reduce global warming. They also indicate the need to protect the population against the adverse effects of exposure to heat. We expect the rate of heat-related deaths to continue to rise unless we do something about climate change or adapt. So far, average global temperatures have increased by only about 1 degree Celsius, which is a fraction of what we would face if emissions rose unchecked, said study first author Ana M. Vicedo Cabrera of the University of Bern. Global warming affects our health in several ways, from direct effects such as forest fires and intensification of extreme weather, to changes in the prevalence of diseases such as malaria and dengue. But the risk of heat-related mortality increases is also growing, and scientists predict further increases in average temperatures. While more than a third of heat-related deaths on average are due to climate change, researchers calculated, its impact varies widely by region. Heat-related losses range from several dozen to several hundred deaths per year, depending on local climate change and population sensitivity. But on every continent, human-induced climate change has coincided with an increase in heat-related deaths, the study authors found. This is the largest study on current health threats resulting from climate change. The message is clear. Not only will climate change have devastating consequences in the future, but every continent is already experiencing the tragic consequences of human activity on our planet. We must act now, emphasized Antonio Gasparini from LSHTM. And the future looks rather bleak. Some scenarios predict that in areas around the equator, future tropical heat waves could increase mortality rates by up to 2,000%. By 2080, at least 4 times as many people will die in Australia and the USA due to rising temperatures. A billion-year-old fossil of one of the earliest multicellular organisms. In the Scottish Highlands, scientists have discovered the fossil of a microscopic organism that lived about 1 billion years ago. The find contains 2 different types of cells and may be the earliest multicellular organism ever discovered, scientists say. A tiny organism that lived 1 billion years ago had 2 different types of cells. Some of them formed the core of the body, and the other constituted its outer skin. As scientists studying the fossil emphasize, it may be one of the first forms of life built in this way. The discovery suggests that animal evolution occurred at least 1 billion years ago and may have occurred in freshwater lakes rather than the ocean. Research on an ancient organism called Bicellum brazieri was published in the journal, Current Biology. The fossil, which may be the earliest known multicellular organism, was discovered by an international team of scientists led by researchers from the University of Sheffield in the UK and Boston College in the US. An ancient microorganism provides scientists with new insight into the evolution of single-celled organisms into complex multicellular organisms. The fossil represents an organism that lies somewhere between the two. The origins of complex multicellular organisms and the origin of animals are considered the 2 most important events in the history of life on Earth. Our discovery sheds new light on both of them. We have found a primitive spherical organism composed of an arrangement of two different types of cells, a first step towards a complex multicellular structure. This is something that has never been found in the fossil record before. The discovery of the new fossil suggests that the evolution of multicellular organisms took place at least 1 billion years ago, and that early events before animal evolution may have occurred in freshwater lakes rather than the ocean, said Charles Wellman of the University of Sheffield. Scientists classified Bicellum brazieri as a protist, simple eukaryotic organisms. The origins of complex multicellular organisms and the origin of animals are considered the two most important events in the history of life on Earth. Our discovery sheds new light on both of them. We have found a primitive spherical organism composed of an arrangement of two different types of cells, a first step towards a complex multicellular structure. This is something that has never been found in the fossil record before. The discovery of the new fossil suggests that the evolution of multicellular organisms took place at least 1 billion years ago, and that early events before animal evolution may have occurred in freshwater lakes rather than the ocean, said Charles Wellman of the University of Sheffield. Scientists classified Bicellum brazieri as a protist, simple eukaryotic organisms. The research team will now want to carefully comb the surrounding area in the hope of finding equally interesting fossils that could provide greater insight into the evolution of multicellular organisms. Scientists believe that these deposits may contain a wide range of microfossils documenting life in non-marine environments 1 billion years ago. Scientists unpacked the mummy of Amenhotep I in an unusual way. All royal mummies found in the 19th and 20th centuries have long been opened. With one exception. Egyptologists have never dared to open the mummy of Pharaoh Amenhotep I, not because of some mythical curse, but because it is perfectly wrapped, beautifully decorated, and the face and neck are covered with an exquisite, realistic mask with colorful stones. However, researchers from Egypt decided to discover the secrets of Amenhotep I thanks to the latest technology. They used three-dimensional computed tomography to digitally unwrap this royal mummy and examine its contents. Amenhotep's mummy was opened for the first time in 3 millennia. The last time this happened was in the 11th century BC, more than 4 centuries after the original mummification and burial. The hieroglyphs describe how, years later, priests restored and reburied royal mummies from more ancient times to repair the damage caused by grave robbers. The research results were presented in the journal, Frontiers in Medicine. The fact that the mummy of Amenhotep I has never been opened in modern times has given us a unique opportunity. We were able to examine not only what mummification originally looked like, but also how the mummy was treated during ancient restoration and reburial, says the main author of the study, Professor Sahar Salim, a radiologist at the Faculty of Medicine at Cairo University. Thanks to digital technologies, we were able to unpack the mummy and learn about its subsequent layers, including the face mask, the bandages used and the remains themselves. We were able to examine this well-preserved pharaoh in detail, which is an unprecedented situation, Salim said. We learned that Amenhotep I was about 35 years old at the time of his death. He was approximately 169 centimeters tall, circumcised and had good teeth. 30 amulets and a unique gold belt with beads were found in the bandages. It seems that Amenhotep I physically resembled his father. He had a narrow chin, a small nose, curly hair and gently protruding upper teeth, describes Professor Salim. We found no wounds or disfigurement caused by the disease that could indicate the cause of death. However, we discovered numerous damages that occurred after death. They were probably created as a result of the activities of grave robbers. The pharaoh's insides were removed by the first mummifiers, but they left the brain and heart, explains the researcher. The mummy was discovered in 1881 among other reburied royal mummies, at the archaeological site of Deir el-Bahari in southern Egypt. The name Amenhotep means, Amen was pleased. Amenhotep I was the second pharaoh of Egypt from the 18th dynasty. The rule was succeeded by his father Ahmose I, who expelled the Hyksos invaders and united Egypt. His reign lasted from approximately 1525 to 1504 BC. It was a kind of golden age. The country was prosperous and safe. There were numerous construction works and successful military expeditions to Libya and northern Sudan. After his death, Amenhotep I and his mother Ahmose Nefertari were worshipped as gods. Professor Salim and Egyptologist Dr. Zahi Horus previously speculated that the main intention of 11th century BC restorers was the reuse of royal tomb furnishings for later pharaohs. But now researchers have debunked their own theory. We show that, at least in the case of Amenhotep I, the priests of the 21st dynasty carefully repaired the damage inflicted by the robbers and restored the mummy to its former glory, keeping the magnificent jewelry and amulets in their place, says Professor Salim. Horus and Salim examined more than 40 royal mummies from the New Kingdom period as part of a project that has been ongoing since 2005. 22 royal mummies, including those of Amenhotep I, were transferred in April 2021 to a new museum in Cairo. Our work proves that court imaging can be beneficially used in anthropological and archaeological studies of mummies from various cultures and civilizations, conclude Salim and Horus.